The Amazon rainforests are one of nature's greatest wonders. They stretch across South America in a swath half the size of the United States. They nurture a range of plants and wildlife so vast that most of them have yet to be identified. And the forests are an important source of the world's oxygen supply. The Amazon rainforests remained unchanged for millions and millions of years. They even managed to escape the Ice Age. But in less than one generation, these rainforests have been profoundly changed and partly destroyed by civilized man. Civilization came to the Amazon a few years ago in the form of Highway 364, built in part with U.S. aid money and the best of intentions. This 900 miles of paved road made the western Amazon easily accessible for the very first time. That meant that huge trees, hundreds of years old, could be easily hauled out of the jungle to satisfy the world's insatiable appetite for tropical timber. It meant the construction of hydroelectric dams providing power for the region, but also flooding large tracts of forest. And accessibility to the Amazon meant settlers, more than 1 million of them in the western province of Rondônia in the past 10 years. And with the settlers came the fires. This is how they clear the land in the Amazon. They clear it for farms and ranches to prove ownership, to qualify for government subsidies. Last year, in the dry season, there were 5,000 fires a day, which destroyed 120,000 square miles of rainforest. That's an area nearly half the size of Texas. There are now big ranches in the Amazon and cowboys who are proud of their spreads. And there are thousands of small farms. Raimondo Fernando dos Santos came last year with his family of 5. They burned themselves a hole in the jungle and began to farm.
When we burn the land, the crops we get are better. If we don't burn, it's useless.
That's what Dos Santos and thousands of other farmers think, but they do not understand that the soil of the rainforest is very poor. In a few years, nothing will grow here, and the farmers will have to move on and burn again. The impact of all of this on the environment is incalculable. William Groeneveld is a Dutch scientist who lives in Rondônia.
The rainforest never will come back the way it is or was. If you once lost a species, you've lost it forever.
Satellite pictures from NASA clearly show the extent of the destruction. The white areas show destroyed forest in 1985. By 1987, it looked like this. As much as 20% of the rainforest has been destroyed in the past 10 years, an area about the size of the entire northeast U.S. The significance of this is that it's now no longer just Brazil's problem. It's a global one. Last year's fires released 2 billion tons of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. That's 10% of the total carbon dioxide pollution worldwide. The world's oxygen supply has also been reduced in amounts scientists aren't yet able to calculate. Brazil's President Sarney recently acknowledged that his government's policies have actually encouraged the forest destruction, and he promised to make some changes. But developing the Amazon is still Brazil's way of finding space for its poor people and money for its stretched budget. But given what burning the Amazon does to the rest of us, the question is whether the world can simply allow it to continue. Barrie Dunsmore, ABC News, in the Amazon rainforest of Brazil.